Do you ever find yourself being caught in a momentum of speaking on and on and on without having the ability to pause or stop? Just one thought leads to another statement, and another statement connects to another thought, and you have to express it. And before you know it, the listener has lost interest or flat out misunderstanding what you're trying to communicate. If the answer is yes, in this video, I will share with you the two main root causes of this issue. One part is the vocal, physical aspect, and another part is the deeper psychological and emotional aspect. As you're listening to the story I'm about to share, you may realize a deeper awareness of your own inner world and its connection to your physical voice, which is already a big win because awareness is the beginning of change. But hey, before we start, if this is your first time here, I'm your favorite inhibited voice recovery coach, Hossam. I help people go from socially anxious to socially confident through healing their voice physically and psychologically at the root cause. This is something that I struggled with for over 2 decades, and I finally learned sustainable solutions, and now I'm sharing it with so many people as well. If you're ready to begin your journey of speaking with confidence for life, I invite you to join my free mini course, link in the description, to learn the foundations for a healthy voice. If you need help to fast track your results, find yourself securing a complimentary call and I'll speak to you personally. If that sounds like a good deal, please hit the like and subscribe button if you haven't already. With that, let's dive in. I recently had an amazing session with a client of mine who happens to be a very visual individual, a talented graphic designer that is also very hardworking. He recently went on a date with this really attractive girl, but things did not go as smoothly as he hoped. The location of the date was somewhere in the city that is very busy and crowded. The sights, the lights, it all distracted him and made him look everywhere, almost in awe. But soon, and because he realized he was not able to pay attention to his date, his nerves kicked in. And in a way, he stopped breathing. You see, whenever our primitive brain triggers danger, we automatically breathe in a very shallow way. It's very unhealthy, especially if it's for prolonged periods of time, because it deprives our body, muscles, and tendons of sufficient oxygen and blood flow. And specifically in the throat, that's when we experience tightness in our voice. So because he was quickly finding that his sense of groundedness and calm were slipping away from him, in a way, she was not even in his field of vision anymore. He was captivated by all the scenery. Everything was happening so fast internally that he did not have a moment to self-regulate. He started oversharing, talking too much, without pausing, without allowing a breathing room in the conversation, or even giving her the opportunity to participate in the dialogue. And his voice took on a combination of monotone and high pitch, without any low tones to ground him or his speech. Now let me digress to break down what it actually means, no low tones to ground his speech. Naturally, when we ask a question, we end it with an upward inflection. For example, did you find the book? That upward inflection unconsciously signals to everyone in the conversation that it's not over, that it is to go on. When making a statement, we naturally end on a low note. For example, I found the book. This indicates to everyone in the conversation that the thought has been completed, and you can move on to further the thought, or you can switch to a different topic. Well, the problem comes in when the voice doesn't have those low notes to end sentences properly. So the person makes a statement but ends it on an upward inflection, so their unconscious mind is confused. So they keep talking and then they ramble some more because they absolutely lost their grounding. This happens when we are nervous and the muscles in the throat tighten up because the brain signaled danger to the muscles of the throat. A quick solution you can practice is to remind your muscles, your brain, and yourself that you are totally safe. And even though it seems like there is danger, it is only perceived danger. If you'd like to learn more about primitive brain reparenting, I'll link another video in the description. It's the last video I made, and I go more in depth in it and how you can self-regulate and reparent and retrain that primitive part of your brain so it does not continue to overreact and stifling your expression moving forward. So ending sentences on a high pitch can leave you hanging, like you're grasping for words, and it can make the situation even more nerve-wracking. So first we worked on the physical aspect of his voice. We used dialed-in vocal exercises to release the tightness that was creating the high pitch and monotony in his voice. We focused on making his voice more open, casual, and strong. No pretense, no fear. The goal was to create a voice of a commanding presence that is captivating and yet is calming and feels friendly without needing to force it. My client practiced using his voice in a way that is natural and grounded, with a flow that allows him to speak confidently and without stumbling or oversharing. When he is calm, he can feel the vibration of his voice in his whole body, including his belly. But when he gets distracted or nervous, his belly and chest tighten up, bringing the vibration from his voice only to his throat, which sounds small and lacks rich tonalities. By going through these tension-releasing exercises, he was able to tap into qualities of his voice that make him stand out naturally, without a single word of compensation. Next, we delved into the psychological aspect of the voice, using a life coaching NLP technique that contains a few steps. The first step is tapping into deeper wavelengths of the brain that allows us to create more permanent and positive change in the mind. This is accomplished by slowing down the breath, relaxing your body one part at a time, and reassuring yourself, the primitive part of your brain and your nervous system, that you are actually totally safe right now. The next step is recognizing the problem in its fullness without trying to minimize it or hide anything from it. To use an analogy, we double-clicked into that folder in his mind and recognized all the details, all the emotions associated with it, all the thoughts and decisions that were made internally. Once we have that folder fully open, we can begin to make a positive change. One of the most easy yet effective ways is to reparent the younger version of himself in that memory. Yes, even though it was 2 weeks ago from the time of the life coaching technique, it is still technically a younger version of himself. He began to realize how instead of feeling nervousness, he can actually feel the rush of excitement during the date. Instead of being distracted by everything, he can actually feel everything instead. And instead of not having her in his field of vision because of all the scenery, he can actually include her in his field of vision. This way, he's beginning to tap into more calm, more resourceful emotional states. He's beginning to see himself instead of speaking to her on a topic while paying visual attention to another topic. He can actually influence and pull her attention towards the things that he's finding inspiring, which would deepen the connection and allow for more spontaneity in the time they are spending together. What we did next was completely restructuring the details of that memory to create lasting and permanent change. In a way, deleting the app from his software and replacing it with another app that is more up to date. That's when he noticed something remarkable. His breathing started to change in real time, becoming deeper and more relaxed. We continued working through the technique, neutralizing the emotional charge around that memory, while at the same time extracting the deeper lessons necessary for his internal growth that these emotional charges were carrying. Like I often say, you cannot let go of an unresourceful emotion, unresourceful memory, or an unresourceful self-limiting belief until you extract the lessons they are meant to teach you for your own growth. He is now more confident in his natural ability to use a voice that is authentic, grounded, fearless of any doubt, and naturally commanding of respect. So if this is something that you relate to, you may realize how things make more sense as I'm relaying this story to you, and how there are simple and technical steps that you can take to kind of dig yourself out of that hole and move towards your vocal freedom and vocal confidence and an emotional state that is more resourceful to you. When you find yourself oversharing or speaking nonstop, ground in your body and your voice. Take a pause. Feel your body. Feel your feet. Feel your voice, your throat, your chest, your belly, and feel your breath. Begin to soften your gaze and transition slowly from serious focus mode to more peripheral mode. Expand your visual field to be more panoramic. All these steps signal to the primitive part of your brain and your nervous system that you are safe and you can actually be creative and strong at the same time, instead of tense and tight. You see, when your nervous system is on survival mode, it tightens up your muscles and makes you strong for a short period of time. But if that period of time is prolonged, it can harm you instead because it deprives your body of sufficient oxygen and blood flow. And that includes your voice, how it can be robbed of its color and emotional variations. On the other hand, being on calm, safe, and recovery mode gives your body sustainable supply of oxygen and blood flow. Subsequently, relaxation mixed with strength. And of course, this directly impacts your vocal ability, your vocal comfortability, and your vocal power. You can also reparent and reassure yourself in the moment that you are totally safe. You can use it as a verbal mantra. I'm totally safe. There's no real danger. There may be only perceived danger. Yet I'm totally safe. That in of itself can calm your whole body, your voice, and gives you a sense of groundedness and authenticity in the way you express yourself. I hope you found this video helpful and inspiring. If you did, please hit the like and subscribe button if you haven't already. Leave a comment below. Let me know what you think, or if you have any questions that I can potentially answer. Join my free mini course to learn the foundations for a healthy voice. And if you need help fast-tracking your results, secure a complimentary call and I'll speak to you personally. With that, stay well, much love. I'll see you in the next video.